The castle stands silent beneath the cold midnight rain, its massive stone walls towering over the sleeping kingdom like a prison built for giants. From the outside, it looks powerful, untouchable, almost majestic. To the common people living beyond its gates, the king inside is seen as chosen by God himself, a ruler blessed with wealth, armies, and absolute authority. Songs are sung about his greatness. Priests praise his wisdom. Soldiers kneel before him without question. But the truth hidden behind these walls is far darker than anyone could imagine. Because medieval kings were not the noble rulers history often remembers. Behind the golden crowns and royal ceremonies existed a world filled with paranoia, betrayal, cruelty, and terrifying secrets the public was never meant to know. And tonight, you are about to step inside that world. The torches flicker along the castle corridors as servants move quickly through the darkness, careful not to make eye contact with the guards. The air smells of wet stone, smoke, and decay. Somewhere deep inside the castle, a man screams, but nobody reacts. Nobody even looks up. In places like this, hearing pain becomes normal. You are a young servant in the royal palace, born into poverty and forced into service before you were even old enough to understand what loyalty meant. Every day begins before sunrise. Every mistake risks punishment. And every corner of the castle hides whispers of things too dangerous to speak aloud. Especially about the king. To the people outside, he appears powerful and controlled during public ceremonies. But inside the castle, everyone knows the truth. The king barely trusts anyone. Not his advisors. Not his guards. Sometimes not even his own family. Because in medieval kingdoms, betrayal was everywhere. A crown was never truly secure. Every meal served to the king is first tasted by another servant, not out of tradition, but fear. Poison is one of the deadliest weapons in the medieval world. Quiet. Invisible. Impossible to stop once swallowed. Kings knew this better than anyone. Some even became obsessed with it, forcing servants to test every drink, every bite of meat, every cup of wine before it touched royal lips. And sometimes, the tasters died first. You remember the first time you witnessed it happen. The grand dining hall had been prepared for a royal feast. Noblemen laughed loudly while musicians played in the background. The tables overflowed with roasted meat, fresh bread, and expensive wine most villagers could never dream of tasting. But beneath all the luxuries sat fear. A young servant, barely older than you, was ordered to taste the king's wine. At first, nothing happened. Then suddenly, the cup slipped from his trembling hand. The room fell silent. The servant collapsed onto the stone floor, choking violently as foam gathered around his mouth. His body twisted in agony while terrified guests backed away from the table. Some stared in horror. Others stayed perfectly calm, as if they had seen this before. The king didn't move. He simply watched. Within moments, guards stormed the hall, dragging the dying servant away before his body even stopped shaking. The musicians began playing again shortly after. Nobles returned to eating. The feast continued. As if a human life meant nothing at all. And that is when you first understand the darkest truth about medieval kings. Power slowly destroys mercy. But poison was only the beginning. Deep beneath the castle lies a hidden network of prison chambers few people ever see. The air down there is cold enough to sting your lungs. Chains hang from damp walls. Rusted torture devices sit in silence, stained by years of suffering. Officially, these rooms exist to protect the kingdom from traitors and enemies. In reality, they are used to spread fear. People disappear into these dungeons all the time. Some are accused of stealing, others of speaking against the crown, and some vanish for reasons nobody understands at all. Most never return. One night, while carrying supplies through the lower corridors, you hear weak scratching coming from behind a heavy wooden door. Curiosity pulls you closer despite the danger. Slowly, you push the door open just enough to see inside. And what you find nearly stops your heart. A man hangs from chains attached to the ceiling, his body bruised beyond recognition. Blood stains the floor beneath him. His breathing is shallow, uneven. Nearby, a royal interrogator calmly sharpens metal tools beside a small fire. The prisoner lifts his head slightly. And whispers only 2 words. "Help me." Before you can react, a guard suddenly grabs your shoulder from behind. His grip tightens hard enough to hurt. "You saw nothing," he says coldly. And in that moment, you realize something terrifying. The king's greatest weapon is not his army. It is fear. Because fear controls people far more effectively than kindness ever could. As weeks pass, you begin noticing things others pretend not to see. Noble families spying on one another. Secret meetings after midnight. Guards bribed with gold to spread rumors. Even priests whispering political secrets behind church walls. Everyone inside the castle is playing a deadly game. And the king plays it best of all. He rewards loyalty with riches, but punishes betrayal with horrifying cruelty. Public executions are common in the kingdom square. Heads displayed on spikes. Bodies left hanging for days as warnings to others. Crowds gather to watch, not because they enjoy it, but because refusing to attend can itself appear suspicious. In medieval kingdoms, survival often depended on pretending not to be afraid. But everyone was afraid. Even the king himself. Late one stormy evening, you are summoned unexpectedly to the royal chambers. The guards refuse to explain why. Your hands shake as you walk through the towering doors, expecting the worst. Inside, the king stands alone near the fireplace, staring into the flames. For the first time, he looks old, tired, almost broken. Without turning toward you, he quietly asks a question. Tell me, do you think they love me? You freeze, unsure how to answer. Because deep down, you already know the truth. No one truly loves a king who rules through terror. They obey him. They fear him. And sometimes, they wait patiently for him to fall. Outside, thunder shakes the castle walls as the rain continues pouring over the kingdom. Somewhere in the darkness, another conspiracy is already beginning. Another betrayal is already growing. Because in the brutal world of medieval kings, power was never enough. And the darker the secret, the more dangerous the crown became. The question stays in your mind long after leaving the royal chambers. The king's voice, tired and uncertain, feels completely different from the powerful ruler the kingdom sees during ceremonies. For the first time, you begin to understand something dangerous. The crown does not only give power. It also creates fear so deep that even kings cannot escape it. And inside the castle, fear changes people. The days grow colder as winter approaches, but the atmosphere within the palace grows even colder still. Servants whisper more quietly now. Guards patrol the halls in larger numbers. Something is happening behind the scenes, though nobody dares speak openly about it. Then one morning, the rumors finally spread. A noble lord has been arrested for treason. No official explanation is given, yet everyone already understands what that means. In medieval kingdoms, treason rarely required proof. Suspicion alone could destroy an entire family. Before sunset, the lord's estate is seized, his servants dragged away for questioning, and his name erased from royal records as though he never existed. But the worst part comes later. You are sent with other servants to the castle courtyard where a crowd has already gathered despite the freezing wind. Soldiers stand in formation while townspeople watch silently, their faces filled with nervous anticipation. In the center of the square, a wooden execution platform rises above everyone else. The accused nobleman is brought forward in chains. He looks exhausted, terrified, nothing like the proud lord people once respected. He tries speaking, trying to defend himself, but the crowd cannot hear clearly. Perhaps that is intentional. Kings do not want doubt spreading among the people. They want certainty. Fear works best when nobody questions authority. The executioner steps forward slowly, carrying a massive axe stained dark from years of use. The entire square falls silent. And within seconds, it is over. Some people lower their eyes immediately. Others stare in frozen shock. But the guards force everyone to remain where they are. This is not simply punishment. It is a lesson. Obey, or suffer the same fate. That night, the castle feels different. Heavier. Darker. Even the servants move through the corridors with greater caution. You overhear whispers claiming the nobleman may have been innocent. Some say another lord accused him out of jealousy. Others believe the king himself feared losing control. No one knows the truth anymore. And perhaps that is exactly how the king wants it. As the weeks pass, strange stories continue spreading throughout the palace. A royal advisor suddenly disappears after arguing with the king during a private meeting. A knight found dead near the castle walls under mysterious circumstances. Even members of the royal family begin avoiding one another during meals. Trust is disappearing. Paranoia is taking its place. Late one evening, while delivering firewood near the queen's chambers, you accidentally overhear a heated argument behind closed doors. Angry voices echo through the hallway. The king sounds furious. The queen sounds afraid. Then you hear something chilling. The moment I show weakness, the king growls, they will tear this kingdom apart. Silence follows. And suddenly, everything becomes clear. The king is not only protecting his crown from enemies outside the castle. He is protecting it from everyone inside as well. From that moment on, the castle no longer feels like a royal home. It feels like a trap built from stone, secrets, and fear. Every hallway hides suspicious eyes. Every conversation ends the moment guards appear nearby. Even during grand feasts, when music fills the hall and golden cups overflow with wine, tension hangs over the tables like a shadow nobody can escape. And the king grows worse. He trusts fewer people with each passing day. More guards are placed outside his chambers. Food tasters are changed constantly. Servants accused of spreading rumors disappear overnight without explanation. Some say they are thrown into the dungeons below the castle. Others whisper something darker, that certain prisoners are quietly executed in secret so the public never hears the truth. One stormy night, you wake suddenly to the sound of shouting echoing through the corridors. Doors slam open. Armored guards rush past carrying torches, their boots pounding against the stone floors. Fear spreads instantly among the servants. Something has happened. You follow the noise carefully from a distance until reaching the great hall. There, chaos has already consumed the palace. Several guards lie injured on the floor while royal soldiers surround a kneeling man in torn clothing. One of the king's closest advisors. Blood runs from the side of his face as soldiers force his head downward. Nearby, nobles whisper in panic while others avoid looking at him entirely. Nobody wants to be connected to a traitor. The king slowly steps forward from his throne. His face is cold, emotionless. The advisor tries speaking, desperately claiming innocence, but the king raises a hand for silence. He accuses the man of secretly plotting against the crown, of meeting enemies beyond the kingdom walls, of preparing betrayal from within the castle itself. Whether any of it is true no longer matters. The punishment has already been decided. Without another word, the guards drag the advisor away screaming through the corridor while the king watches silently. The nobles lower their heads immediately. No one questions him. No one dares. Because by now, everyone understands the reality of medieval kings. The crown survives through fear. But fear changes rulers into something dangerous. Something almost impossible to trust. As the castle slowly grows quiet again, you step back into the dark hallway, your heart pounding harder than ever before. You once believed kings lived lives of endless luxury and glory. But now you see the truth hidden beneath the gold and royal banners. Behind every powerful king stood paranoia. Behind every throne stood betrayal. And behind every smiling royal face existed secrets the kingdom was never meant to know. Outside, rain crashes against the castle walls while thunder rolls across the black sky above the kingdom. Somewhere beyond the gates, ordinary people sleep believing their king protects them. But inside these walls, you have seen the truth for yourself. Power does not make men merciful. Sometimes. It turns them into monsters.